how somebody's energy from all the way around the world can affect somewhere else in the world. And, you know, that can look like a lot of different things. It might seem a little woo-woo right now, but stay with me here, because we're all part of this sort of interweb of consciousness, of energy on a very molecular subatomic level. And then when we get under that subatomic level, more like physics class, which you might try to, you know, in one ear, out the other, forget about it ASAP, but it's all kind of just theory and a lot of math that makes sense. And we don't actually see it or know what it actually is. It's just a lot of laws that mathematically and conceptually make sense. And I believe that Hinduism and the energy of yoga lives within that theory. So one action on one side of the world can affect another action on the other side of the world. There's been a lot of experiments done on this. If you've ever heard of the water crystal experiment in Japan, where you put a petri dish of water in one room and then another in another room. One petri dish of water, you tell it like, I hate you, you're bad, worst thing ever. And then another petri dish, they expose it to good words like, I love you, you're perfect, you're gonna do great things. And when they freeze those two petri dishes of water, the one with the positive affirmation sent to it is in a nice crystalline structure, all the molecules lined up, and the one that was exposed to the negativity is all, you know, all just convolvulated molecules on top of one another. There was so much air and space between the molecules that its density was different than the one positive affirmation. So that's just one little science-based experiment in this giant book full of water crystal experiments. So in that way, that's one of the most 21st century modern ways that I can think to explain the concept of energy, gratitude, positivity has on energy. And yeah, so I was going to share something from the Bhagavad Gita, but we're just going to sit with that for right now. And it all starts with you on this very mat. It all starts with paying attention to where your awareness is. Your brain, whether you are saying something that you want versus what you don't want, it pays attention to what you're thinking about. So yoga is a space that we can think a little more positively and contribute to the positive energy web of this world. Maybe it'll travel all the way to what's happening in India. Maybe it'll travel somewhere in your community. And as the contagiousness of this virus has taught us, we're sort of all connected, you know, this virus is spread all over the world through people being within 6 feet of each other. So it kind of lets you know that in one way or another, we're all connected, all 7.5-ish billion of us. Start by applying this idea to your body here. Appreciate your hands and your arms. They probably had so many cute dogs and furry animals in your life, and hug some of the most important people. your life. Allow your eyebrows and scalp to relax. Underneath is your mind that has always brought about creativity and your own uniqueness. Appreciate your feet and your toes, where they have taken you to the most important and favorite places in your life. Allow the attention and awareness to retreat away from the edges of your skin and gently settle on that path that your breath takes all the way from nose through your neck and throat, your collarbones, your heart space, maybe down into your abdomen where the breath may reach the belly button a little bit away from the spine as you fill that space up with air. And since we're all laying down here, or whether you're sitting at home, bring your left ear towards the left shoulder so the back of your head is still on the mat. But by bringing your left ear towards your left shoulder, you're opening up the right side of your neck. You can even physically move your left shoulder towards your left heel, so down the side of your body. Or sorry, your right shoulder, so you're opening that side up a little bit more. Nice. Come back to center. And let right ear go to right shoulder. You can sneak your left shoulder down towards your left heel, opening up that side of your neck just a little bit more. Keep breathing into the belly space. As you're ready, and bring your knees into your chest, rolling up and down your spine gently a few times. And take your time here, take a few breaths. Come up to a seated position. Remembering this is a space where you don't need to rush from one thought, one breath, one movement to the next. You can take your time. As we slow down physically, we transcend, and slow down mentally as well. Nice. So bring your hands onto the earth in front of you and then transition into a tabletop position. Root down the tops of your feet, your knees, and your wrists. Bring the crown of your head away from your shoulders so you're making space in your spine. And then bring your belly button towards your spine so you're activating your core here. Once we have that, bring your tailbone up towards the sky, drop your belly button, and open your heart space, collarbone, and throat up towards the front of the room. This will be every inhale, and then starting at your pelvis, scoop your belly button, your tailbone under, bring your belly button towards the sky, and then drop your head down towards the earth. This will be every exhale. Allow for yourself to follow these movements at your own breath here, starting each cat and cow pose at the pelvis. So you're letting every little piece of your vertebrae articulate in this in these shapes. Notice your shoulder blades and your breath as you go through each shape. So with every inhale, your shoulder blades squeeze together. With every exhale, they spread apart. Opening up the fronts and the backs of your heart. As you're ready, you can stop right there in tabletop position. Lift your left hand and right foot up away from the core, reaching towards the fronts and backs of the room that you're in. And notice what this does to your balance. Find that stability in your core so that you're as close to the beginning tabletop position as possible. You're not leaning to one side or the other, to front and back. Inhale here, and then exhale, bend elbow to knee, reach belly button and spine towards the sky, bring elbow and knee underneath your chest. Inhale, extend back out, and exhale, go nice and slow between these movements. With every inhale, trying to reach your heel and fingertip away from one another, just a little bit more than the pose before. And then with every exhale, trying to bend your spine and squeeze belly button up towards the sky, really activating the belly space and the core. At the next tabletop, extended tabletop, you can bring your hand back down and then bend at the lifted knee and then stack right hip onto left. You can walk your right hand forward and release your chest a little bit towards the ground as you reach your right knee up. Maybe your left forearm comes down, so you're opening all the way into your right rib space. Nice. Come back to tabletop position. Bring yourself in hip circles. Roll your hip out to one side. Back towards your heels, back up to the other side. Heel or hips come to your wrists and then out to the side. If there's a little spot in your hip where you're like, oh, that's a little tight, get some opening. Feel free to stay there and explore a little bit so that you can really release and stretch into every little nook and cranny of your hips, your pelvis, all the way 360 degrees in the circle here. Nice. You can even close your eyes so you're feeling this movement from the inside out. Pretend like you're trying to scrape the inside of a barrel with your hips. Feel free to go in the other direction if that works for you. Make sure your breath is nice and long. Appreciating your hips for how they support your upper and lower body. Nice. You can come back to the tabletop position. And this time lift right hand and left foot up away from each other. Keep that stability in your core and really press the top of your right foot down into the earth to find that stability. Nice. Reach fingertips just a little bit away and exhale, bend elbow to knee. Press belly button to spine, really making this an active pose, using your core to bring your hand and foot into this extended and bent position. Keep your breath nice and long. At your next inhale, stay right there in extended tabletop. Return right hand down onto the earth. Bend at the lifted left knee. And then stack left hip onto right. Walk your left hand forward. Come down onto your right forearm and stretch your left knee away from left armpit and away from your left fingertips. Open up into the left ribs, left hip, while activating the left glute. Nice. Come back to center into a tabletop position. Come into downward facing dog. Make sure that your middle fingers are facing the front of the room and that your hips are reaching up and back to where the back wall meets the ceiling, that little corner up there. And place the squares of your palms on the earth as though you're trying to push the yoga mat away from you. Be nice and firmly grounded so you're not pressing so much into your wrists. Inhale, lift your left foot up towards the sky. Exhale, plant it between your hands, right knee comes down. Inhale, lift your hands up and back, pressing your right hip forward. Exhale, place your hands on either side of your front foot. Inhale, come up into a fold. Exhale, release upper body to your legs. Inhale, come all the way up into extended mountain pose. And exhale, hands come to heart center. Inhale, feel your rib cage lift. Exhale, feel your rib cage return back to center. Inhale, breathe all the way, hands up. Exhale, come down into a fold. Inhale, bring your hands to shin, reach your head forward. Exhale, place your hands down, left foot and knee, come back. Inhale, lift your hands up and back. Exhale, plant your hands, go back into a downward facing dog. Inhale, glide forward plank. Keep your elbows in as you exhale, knees, chest down, and chin down to the earth. Inhale, lift into baby cobra using the core. Exhale, tuck your toes, lift up into a downward facing dog. Notice the pace of your breath without any judgment or any need to categorize or label. That's the work of the mind, and we can actively kind of push that aside right now. And just curiously look at the breath and be like, oh, that's what it's doing right now, okay? No need to say it's good or bad. You can always use downward facing dog to observe the breath. Inhale, right foot comes up towards the sky. Exhale, place right foot between the hands, left knee comes down. This time, inhale, clasp hands, reach heart forward, hands back. Exhale, plant your hands on either side of your front foot. Inhale, come up into a forward fold. Exhale, release upper back, belly to thighs. Inhale, lift up into an extended mountain, and exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, just lift the crown of your head towards the sky, and exhale, let your feet firmly root into the earth. Inhale, hands come up towards the sky, and exhale, come all the way into a fold. Inhale, lift crown of your chest, really feeling these movements here, not just going through the motions. Exhale, feel your palms on the earth, and then lift your right foot slips back down into a low lunge. Clasp your hands again at your low back, and inhale, reach breastbone forward and hands back. Exhale, plant your hands. Inhale, all the way into a downward facing dog. Oh, messed that one up. Sorry, guys. Inhale, come forward. You always have the breath right back up. Exhale, come all the way down into the earth. Inhale, come up into baby cobra. Exhale, plant your toes, lift up into a downward facing dog. Nice. Gather yourself here. Lift your left foot up towards the sky, three-legged dog. And then three-legged, glide yourself forward, bringing left knee to your chest. Use your core, pressing your hands down into the earth pressing up. And keep a steady breath here. Even though this isn't the most relaxing pose, keep that stability. Twist so that your left knee is reaching over towards the right side. And then shoot your left foot out. Nice. And stack right shoulder onto left so you're reaching up. Keep those hips lifted in the air. Nice. Bring your hands back down and come into a three-legged dog again. This time, walk your hands back. Three-legged, I don't know, balancing pose at the back of your mat. Even lift your hands, pressing the inner edge of your foot into the earth. Keep the breath steady. Keep it nice and cool and long. Pressing into your foot, pressing your hands together, really pressing them together for balance. Come up into an upright position, lifting your left knee up into a right angle. And it's okay to wobble and put your foot down for a moment, as long as you're keeping that breath, keeping that awareness. And then we're gonna do one of my favorites. Put your left ankle here at the right knee. Keep your foot flexed. Press your hands together. Press your tongue to the roof of your mouth. Look at one spot in front of you. Keep the breath steady. And once you have all those pieces, kind of sit back a little bit. Press left ankle into right knee, so we're keeping that balance. Keep bending down until you can reach your upper body down and put your hands on the earth. You might have to walk your hands a little forward to find that spot. And keep walking your hands forward. Nice. And then place tie your left shin down, so we're in a little pigeon pose. So if your hands are on the earth, kind of shoulder width apart, your left knee should be reaching towards left wrist. And then maybe you can kind of scoot, use the grip of your skin in your mat to scoot your foot forward. If not, it can stay near your groin. Your hands can be either in front of you, lifting your upper body if that's what helps you open up through this hip and left. Or you can come down onto your forearms. Catch up with the breath. Re-familiarize with its patterns. Nice. Now, as you're ready, plant your hands down. Tuck your back toes under. Lift the right knee. And so you're back at this little knee to chest position. And just a quick little runner's lunge switch. Switch to the right side. Nice. Activating the core on this side. Breathe into the belly space. Challenge yourself here. Begin to twist your body so your right knee comes out to the left. Keep going. Activate the core, the oblique, and shoot the right foot out. And stack your left shoulder on your right. Feel your hips in space. Tease your left side ribs towards the sky. Reach the hips a little bit more up and then bring the hand back down. Bringing the right leg up and back through to a three-legged dog. This time, walk your hands back. So we are in a little, almost warrior three at the back of the mat. Press the big toe edge of your left foot into the ground. Bring your hands to heart center. Bring one hand to heart center. Leave your hands on the ground. Notice where your thoughts are, especially when you lose balance in a balancing position, as well as noticing where your breath is when you lose balance. Pressing into your grounded foot, come up into an upright position. So your right knee is at a right angle. Press hands together. I should get the back of that too. Nice. And my favorite, set yourself up into a standing position, pigeon position. So right ankle presses actively above your left knee. Press your palms together. Keep steady breaths, just like we did in the beginning. Knowing it's totally okay to wobble, totally okay to not have such perfect actions being tied to the results. See if you can just be right here with the wobbles, with the discomfort, with the balancing, and then sit down back as if you're in a chair. Keeping your legs where they are. See if you can move your upper body, your upper chest towards the earth. And plant your hands down. You may need to walk a little forward so your palms are on the earth. Walking forward. Going, so you're in figure 4 plank, and then transition your right shin onto the earth. Right knee towards right wrist, and right ankle maybe teases up towards the left wrist. Feel free to stay here for as long as you want to, but we'll also spend a few breaths in child's pose. So as you're ready, feel free to transition to child's pose. Take 3 full breaths here. And not just any breaths, but breaths that you feel all the way from your first sip or drop of an inhale all the way to the last drop of that inhale. And then feeling the whole exhale as your lungs empty all the way from top to bottom. So allow yourself to take 3 such breaths, not just full physically in your lungs, but also mentally. Once you've got that, take your time here. Feel free to take a 4th breath if you want to. You can go ahead and lay down on your belly, stacking your hands so that one cheek can rest on your hands. Cheek and cheek. Bend your right knee so it's coming up and towards your right elbow. So your feet will still be on the ground, but your right knee will be at a right angle. Just a nice passive hip opener. Notice where your mind is. And bring it back to breathing, back to being. And And this may be just as difficult as physical poses as well. But it's just that act of bringing yourself back over and over, and that is yoga. It's that journey of bringing it back and being aware, rather than trying to reach the end of that. Oh, my mind has found stillness, and what do I do now? More so the journey of getting there that shows that resilience, that shows the self-intuition. As you're ready, you can bring your right leg back and transition over to the other side. You can put the other cheek down on the earth. As you're ready, you can bring your legs back. Reach your right arm forward towards me, and then roll right over your right side until you're on your back. Allow yourself to just settle and melt here. Let go of any breathing patterns except for that which is natural to you. As you're ready, invite physical movement into your body in the form of a deeper breath. Away, spine and back with every inhale and exhale. Wiggle your fingertips and your toes. Roll at the wrists and the ankles. Gently bend at the elbows and the knees. You can reach your hands up and over, reaching your feet all the way away from your hands. So one nice long body stretch. Do the opposite motion, bringing your knees into your chest. You're feeling grounded, more in tune with the earth, or move slow, lower energies and roll over onto the right side. We're feeling more in tune with the light, active, ready to go, sunshine, energy, and roll over onto the left. Using that side's arm as a pillow. And whichever leg made it on top, you can extend that leg out away from your body. Use your free hand to come up to a seated position. And then you can flip around and we'll meet in asana with your hands at heart center. Bring your chin in towards your chest. Let's go bowing down to the being that you are, the power, energy that you have. I mean, really what I was trying to get at in the beginning is this world just needs more people to be positive and to do their authentic action fully, rather than thinking about what other people may think about you. It just matters about what vibrations, what energy you're putting out there. And that's how we can help places like India all the way from here, using their philosophies to give back to them. Take a breath and just send some good energy to that part of the world. Just imagine people thriving. Hoping that everything is the greatest, highest good that's about to happen and unfold. Take another breath to appreciate your part in this world. There are whole communities, lives of people that would be completely different if you were not in it. We'll close out our practice with the unifying sound of Om. I don't know if it's just me or whatever. I always feel like I can't hear anybody Om with me, so it means so much if we could all Om together. To bring your gaze forward. And take a breath just to clear your belly and lungs of air. So inhale fully and exhale, melt those shoulders. Release again. And as though this Om will reach the streets of India that need it so much. Inhale in preparation for Om. Thank you all so much for being here, practicing with me. every week, holding space for each other, for yourself, for me, and everybody lives that you touch after this class. You'll also protect up off of your mats and into the communities and lives that you're a part of. And feel free to share a namaste or two or a few with some neighbors. Practice that lovely art of eye contact and connecting with each other. So have a lovely rest of your evening and yeah, do something really healthy and positive for yourself this week. Candles can be put in that linen box. Yeah.